In the rugged heart of the Afghan mountains, where the jagged peaks seemed to scrape the heavens themselves, a solitary soldier named Sergeant Jake Henderson found himself in the most challenging battle of his life. Jake was a man of unyielding determination, an embodiment of unwavering courage that seemed to defy the very essence of fear. Alone and surrounded by the harshness of war, he clung to a dream that kept his spirit unbroken. Jake's journey into the world of the military had started with humble beginnings. Raised in a small town, he had always felt a calling to serve his country. With his unwavering determination, he enlisted at the young age of 18, vowing to protect the nation he loved. Over the years, he had been tested in ways he could never have imagined, yet each trial only seemed to fuel his determination. As he sat in his makeshift outpost, staring out at the unforgiving terrain that stretched before him, Jake couldn't help but reflect on the path that had led him here. His comrades had been redeployed, leaving him behind on a mission that seemed almost impossible. His mission was to secure a remote village that had been infiltrated by insurgent forces. The villagers were his only allies, and the enemy lurked in the shadows, a constant threat. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Jake's world had become a desolate landscape of solitude and danger. The only company he had were the stars that lit up the night sky and the memories of his fellow soldiers. He drew strength from those memories, from the camaraderie and the unspoken understanding that bound them together. One evening, as the sun dipped below the jagged peaks, Jake received a message over his radio. It was his commanding officer, Lieutenant Reynolds, checking in on him. The voice crackled with concern, but Jake assured him that he was holding his ground. Days turned into weeks, and Jake's situation grew increasingly dire. The enemy had grown bolder, launching relentless attacks on his position. Food and water were running low, and his radio had gone silent. But Jake refused to surrender to despair. He remembered the promise he had made to himself and his comrades. He would protect the village at all costs. With no communication and limited supplies, Jake relied on his instincts and training. He moved stealthily through the treacherous terrain, using guerrilla tactics to outsmart the enemy. He became a shadow in the night, striking fear into the hearts of those who sought to harm the innocent. One day, as Jake was scouting the outskirts of the village, he stumbled upon a group of villagers who had been taken hostage by the insurgents. Their eyes reflected a mix of fear and hope as they looked to him for salvation. Without hesitation, Jake hatched a daring plan to free them. Under the cover of darkness, he infiltrated the enemy's camp, his heart pounding with a blend of fear and determination. With his skills honed through months of isolation and adversity, he managed to rescue the hostages, leading them to safety in the dead of night. Word of Jake's heroism spread like wildfire through the village, rekindling hope among its inhabitants. They rallied around him, determined to protect their homes from the threat that had loomed for so long. Together, they formed an unbreakable bond, a testament to the strength of the human spirit. As the days turned into weeks, Jake's actions had not gone unnoticed. Reinforcements arrived, and the insurgents were driven out of the village for good. The war-torn land began to heal, and the villagers started to rebuild their lives. Jake's mission was finally complete, and he stood among the grateful villagers, their faces illuminated by the rising sun. He had emerged from the crucible of adversity, a lone soldier who had become a symbol of unbroken valor. His journey had been fraught with challenges, but he had never wavered, and he had triumphed against all odds. In the end, it was not the weapons or the tactics that had won the day, but the indomitable spirit of a soldier who refused to give in to despair. Jake's story served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could shine brightly, lighting the way for others to follow. As Jake looked out at the village he had helped save, he knew that his journey was far from over. But he also knew that he would face whatever challenges lay ahead with the same unwavering determination and unbroken valor that had brought him to this moment. For he was not just a soldier, he was a beacon of hope in a world that sometimes seemed devoid of it. Unbroken,